Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, our daily get-together live here on Facebook every day of the week, 10:30 in the morning, where we examine current headlines, questions, tips, ideas, comments, suggestions, anything we can get our hands on that helps us be better connected with each other, better connected with our destination, Puerto Vallarta, as a community of English-speaking locals, and also, of course, better connected with Mexico, the country that we are choosing to live with. What? Today is Kathleen's birthday. Where is my kazoo? Here we go. Let's see. Let's try the Mexican one. Hey! Happy birthday, Kathleen! There you go. That's how much fun we have here at Coffee and Headlines. If you're new to these broadcasts, my name is Paco, and we'd love to find out that you're new. You can let us know by writing the word new in your comments, and if you have something important that you want to share, please do so by adding a letter Q. We'll be looking for comments that are important, and we will try to answer them during the broadcast. And if not during the broadcast, we will definitely try to get to them later on in the day. A quick look at who's in the house, starting with the Lake of the Ozarks. Sherry is in the house. New Jersey is in the house. Hello, Ricky. Veronica's representing the Toronto cluster. I love it. And yes, Jill, today is Monday, and that means we're going to have Music Monday. Absolutely. A good song is coming up. I am so sorry to hear this. This is very sad news, Patty. We're sending good vibes and thoughts and prayers for you and your loved ones. Let's see what else we have. Oakland's in the house. Hello, Kathy. It's great to see you. Alaska's in the house by way of Perry. Hello. It's great to see you. Let's see who else is here. Christy, we're always happy to see you. I love the fact that you shared your squirrel photos the other day. Those were so cool. Let's see who else is here. Logan, Jesus, take the wheel. Semana Santa's here. Oh, yes, it's going to be an interesting Semana Santa, because usually Semana Santa is when the tourism from north of the border is winding down and is getting ready to do their exodus, while the Mexican tourism makes their exodus into our city. But now there seem to be so many people north of the border that have been vaccinated that are itching to go places, and it will create for an interesting soup of tourism this coming week. Again, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I'm going to be nicely tucked away here in the house with Luna as much as humanly possible. Let's see what else we have. Jerry is in Palm Springs. This is great. Margaret is in New Westminster. I love it. I love it. I love it. Brandy is heading over to Daiquiri Dick's for a working lunch with a friend. You know, we got to go check out Daiquiri Dick's because before they close or they change ownership on April 15th, I believe. So if, like myself, you have been fond of this wonderful restaurant, before it goes away, it might be a good idea to plan a dinner there with your friends and loved ones. Brett is new, watching from Mazatlan. Great city. It's great to have you, Brett. Grab your favorite beverage, get comfortable, and check out the zoo that we put together every single day. Paco, you love odd-sounding names, and here's one for me. Francilia Billington, a long-forgotten silent film actress, made 130 films, but only 4 survive. Francilia, that is an awesome name. Thank you very much for sending it my way. As long as we're all here, let us get started. Today, of course, it's Music Monday. We have some very, very sad and thought-provoking news to share today, unfortunately. And we have some interesting cultural tidbits to share with you about stupid things Mexicans do when going to soccer matches. And we'll see how the morning goes. Let's get on with it. Well, citizens, activists, and government officials expressed their indignation after a video was revealed, actually a series of videos, showing 4 policemen from the municipality of Tulum in Quintana Roo pinning down a Salvadorian woman to the ground and asphyxiating her to her death. The Salvadorian government identified the victim as Victoria Esperanza Salazar Arriaza. She was 36 years old, and she leaves behind 2 underage daughters in Mexico City. Apparently, she had a humanitarian visa that allowed her to be in Mexico indefinitely. Both Mexican and Salvadorian authorities are presently investigating the details that led the 4 policemen to commit such a horrible crime. This morning, Mexico President Andrés Manuel López Obrador, in his daily press conference, stated, he condemned the murder, calling it a painful and shameful incident that will not remain exempt from punishment to the full extent of the law. We will punish those responsible, he said. In Mexico, we are addressing gender equality, and this is something that cannot be compared to just a movement. It should be the way we all live. Needless to say, there's a lot of shock around these news, and a lot of people are going to be talking about it, wondering what exactly happened. And my personal thoughts and wishes is that indeed this is not yet another hate crime that gets committed in Mexico without clarifying what happened, without condemning and punishing those responsible. We pray for the family of this, for this woman's family. We pray for her children, and we hope that justice will be served. More in local news. Yesterday, Puerto Vallarta registered an average 60% occupancy in local hotels as Semana Santa vacationers begin to arrive in town. According to the State Tourism Secretary, hotels can reach a maximum 66% occupancy during both Semana Santa and Semana de Pascua. Of course, it won't be until Wednesday that we will truly feel the presence of vacationers. Yesterday, I had the opportunity to take 2 Ubers, and I asked the drivers if they felt the change, and both drivers confirmed that they are indeed starting to feel the arrival of tourism in the city. This, by the way, is a good moment, as good a moment as any, to inform you that Jalisco Governor Enrique Alfaro did not present any new COVID-19 related information yesterday. That said, knowing that our state is in the green in the national COVID-19 spotlight should give us some comfort and hope that the numbers do not swing back excessively after the vacation period. Can we anticipate that they will go back? Of course we can. I think this is pretty much anticipated, not only for Puerto Vallarta, but for any vacation destination in our country. Let us just keep our fingers crossed that people choose to behave responsibly and that the numbers do not exceed what the officials are expecting. Let me take a quick look at your comments just to see what we have, and then we can continue with the rest of the broadcast. We already said hello to Brett, but of course, I hear Mazatlan and I think of all these places I would like to go. And of course, Mazatlan is one of those places. I haven't been to Mazatlan in many, many years. And now that vaccines are, we can almost hear them coming, but not quite. I'm getting itchy for city traveling. Right now, I've only gotten away to a couple of places, tiny places where there are no people. But hopefully sometime soon. Let's see. Yes, George Floyd of Mexico. Absolutely. Absolutely. Very similar, although we don't know the circumstances. But I think there are going to be a lot of attempts to create parallels and to make comparisons. We should be mindful of the fact that hate crime has been addressed in the United States in very different ways as it has been addressed in Mexico. I'm not saying in better or worse ways. We are just in a different place when it comes to these kinds of inequality issues. Let us hope that Mexico continues to get better and more committed to addressing these things to the full extent of the law. Absolutely. Matthew is excited. He's getting a little prick this coming Saturday. Congratulations. We were just talking. You were just asking me where my sister lived in Mexico City because she's gotten her first little prick. I'm happy for you, Matthew, and let us hope that our own vaccines come back to Puerto Vallarta soon. I know that a lot of local seniors are wondering what's going to happen and when. Well, I am part of the next decade, so I am also starting to go a little fidgety about it, but we must remain patient. Needless to say, it's the only thing we can do. Thomas is at his hair place. I love it. Clients and I are watching us always. I had no idea that you put this show on for the clients. I need a haircut. No, I'm just kidding. Well, I do, but I take care of those myself. Let me say hello to Mandy, who must be getting ready to get started with the preparations for virtual Gay Pride. Mucha suerte, Mandy. I hope everything is awesome this year. I hope it exceeds all the wonderful accomplishments from last year. There's a lot of room to grow, and I'm sure that you're taking in a lot of suggestions from people as to how to improve the event and make it better and more inclusive. That said, let me switch over to the weather forecast, and we can take it from there. Let's see. What do we have? The Panama Canal better watch out. Of course, we know what that is about. We know that crazy ship that was stuck in this, what was the Suez Canal? Somewhere in Europe, there was this ship that was stuck for a week. I mean, can you imagine being the captain of that ship? Oh my God, the embarrassment. Anyhow, it's 27 degrees in Puerto Vallarta. Feels like 26. Humidity is very low. It's only 30%. And we've got 81 degrees Fahrenheit if you are a Fahrenheit monger. And the weather forecast for this week starts with a partly cloudy day with a high temperature of 31, low temperature 19. Tomorrow, it'll be partly cloudy. Again, high temperature 33, getting warmer, low temperature 20. And on Wednesday, partly cloudy. High temperature 33, low temperature 21. So much for me getting excited about crocheting scarves. I mean, how wonderful scarves are. They're fabulous accessories. My friend Logan, our friend Logan, always wears chingaderas around his neck that make him look fabulous on fresh evenings, on cool evenings. And I thought to myself, I want to be like Logan. I want to wear something fabulous around my neck. And I'm finding all these patterns and instructions. But now the weather's getting warm, so there's not much we can do. Dana asks, gay pride will be virtual, or I suppose GP means gay pride. It could also mean gorgeous Paco, and I'm always virtual. Gorgeous Paco's always virtual. Here you have me. I'm gorgeous and I'm virtual. There you go. Let's see. Lynn is asking Thomas about your salon name and where. I know where it is. I actually don't remember what it's called. So please toot your own horn. Make sure that people know where to find one another. Let me see. What? Oh, Fat Fish Restaurant has the best ribs in Mazatlan. I was thinking, how do we get into ribs now so early in the morning? Anyhow, let me continue with a couple of interesting news that give us a great opportunity to explore a sad cultural Mexican habit. For starters, I should let you know that Mexico's soccer team qualified for the Olympics by beating the Canadian team 2-0. This guarantees that Mexico will be able to participate in the Summer Olympics in Tokyo. But there is a small snag. You see, for years, let me get back to the big screen so that I can better explain this. For years, a habit that Mexicans have had at soccer matches is to shame the opposing team or the bad team or whatever you want to call it by yelling out the word puto, P-U-T-O, puto. I think it's something like, puto. And they just go saying this over and over again. Well, puto is not a very nice way to call somebody a gay person, a gay man. We use it, gay boys will use it with one another whenever it's possible or necessary because, it's just like black people. They, African-American people, they call each other things that people from the outside shouldn't call. Well, this business of yelling puto at soccer matches has become so pervasive that eventually it came to the eyes and ears of Human Rights Commission, and then it came to the eyes and ears of the CONCACAF, which is the Confederation of North, Central American, and Caribbean Association Football. And this association governs all the official parties, all the official games that take place. And of course, now, Mexico has been spending probably the last half a decade making people mindful of the fact that if you yell puto in a game, you're actually encouraging a very homophobic expression or means of expression. So now it turns out that the CONCACAF, which is the association that sanctions all these games, could actually disqualify Mexico from the Olympics if Mexican fans travel to Tokyo with their flags and start yelling the P word all over the place. So this is now either do or we're going to get screwed if you continue to yell this. So there's a lot of impetus by Mexican fans, soccer fans that go from city to city or country to country supporting their teams so that people don't go crazy yelling this, because if during a match the arbitros, the arbiters and the officials that are there watching and listening, if they start hearing the P word, they could sanction our team or they could actually disqualify our team. We don't want that to happen, and hopefully that will not be the case. Before I get on to Music Monday and take a look at your comments, let me tell you that this, you knew that I was supposed to go to this bazaar on Saturday, but then I got lazy and I never ended up going. And we talked about this yesterday when you asked how was the bazaar. Well, it turns out that the bazaar was a huge thing. This was the 5th edition that took place, and even interim mayor Jorge Antonio Quintero Alvarado was there to kickstart the event, in which 120 vendors offered a variety of products along with art exhibitions and music performances. The event began at 11:30 in the morning and continued until 6 p.m. with an estimated attendance of 1,600 people. Don't get frightened. This was, of course, an outdoor event that took place in the Pitillal walkway that connects Francisco Villa all the way to Medina Asensio. Bazaar Fest is an event that is going to take place only once a month, and needless to say, I am already looking forward to the next one. Let me take a quick look at your comments before we dive into Music Monday. Let's see. Ba-dee-bum-bum-bum-bum. Na-na-na-na. A crochet now for next year. Yeah, that's probably what I'm going to end up doing, Linda. Absolutely. Let's see. Thank you very much, Thomas. Thomas Simon Salón Carranza en Constitución in La Zona Romántica, better known for its real name, Push, Emiliano Zapata. There you go. I know, Logan, you are so wrong, Queen, and I love you for that. So wrong, Queen. I love it. Oh, my God. Shout out to Amanda Lowe Scherer for continuing to provide quality and timely COVID information to the English-speaking community. I don't have the pleasure of knowing who she is, but if you say, Terry, that we should give a shout out for her, let's give a shout out for her. Thank you very much for doing what you're doing. Yay. So, let's see. FYI, Banderas Bay vaccination clinics for 60 plus are allowing those from PV who did not get the first vaccine to come today for vaccine. It is Sinovac, 9 location. There you are, Amanda. Oh my goodness, there you are. So I hadn't had the pleasure. Thank you very much for that information. This is good information to know. Logan, I know that you and a friend were looking for a place. So this might be an opportunity for our dear friend who missed the bus. You know who I'm talking about. Brad asks, anyone heard anything about vaccine for 50 plus? The answer is no, Brad. If we haven't heard about senior vaccines and we haven't heard about 50 plus, then there's no news just yet. Not to toot my own horn, but seriously, Brad, if we had any news, I would have been the first person to share them, at least here. Stephanie, I'm purple with envy. I wish I had the oomph to do a whole Afghan these days, but it's like I would never use it. Have I seen the new Stephen Retchless show at Act 2? It is very good. I heard similar good reports about this from Logan, who went to see it the other day. And, oops. Well, that was unexpected. And I appreciate the recommendation, although I do hear that show venues are starting to shut down for the season. I don't know if that's true or not, because I'm not keeping track of them, because you have in the past expressed not a lot of interest in public performances here in town on the polls that we've done. If this is changing, please let me know. You know that every time and any time you want to hear more about this, that, and the other, all it takes is a quick note to let us know, hey, Paco, and Luna, please let us know more about this, that, and the other. So let's see. I think we are ready for Music Monday. And today, let me put myself in Music Monday mode. Boom. And let us hope that this works as expected. Let's see. Today we start by posing a question. If you've ever been around a classical piano player and you've had to hear him or her practice, this may sound familiar. Have you heard that before? You probably have if you've spent any time around pianists or in music school and whatnot. Of course, we are talking about the first of 60 exercises composed for the piano by Charles Louis Hanon. and first published in 1873. The Hanon, the virtuoso pianist in 60 exercises, is a Bible for music, for piano students. We play it over and over and over again. It's kind of like the morning stretch. And of course, a little bit about Hanon himself. He was born in 1819, and he was a French teacher and composer. His most popular work is the aforementioned piano exercise book we so much hate to love. Do we love Hanon for other compositions? No, we don't. The Hanon book was not intended for public performance, and even though he did write other music, he is not known for his musical accomplishments. But that's just what happens with this book. You know, in the history of music, there have been other composers, however, whose exercises turned out to be not only great warm-up and workout exercises for dexterity, but also breathtaking masterpieces. For example, Frédéric Chopin composed 2 series of 12 etudes or studies for the piano, the Opus 10 and the Opus 25. Now, each study focuses on a specific dexterity or skill. For example, here is how the very first one of these series begins. This particular study or etude focuses on right-hand arpeggios, which is playing chords up and down the keyboard evenly and accurately. Take a look. And so forth and so on. Needless to say, these are recorded and performed live often. These are very beautiful pieces, and they're a lot of fun to listen to. And also, you know, in some of the etudes, you can easily determine what the dexterity that the piece is exploring. In others, it doesn't hurt to have a little bit of a guide, because then one can actually see what this is about. By the way, I failed to mention at the beginning that we are talking today about a song without words, and we're taking a very, very leisurely ride to get to that. I'm setting up the context here, so bear with me. Now, just as the piano has its exercise books, other instruments have theirs. For example, singers, vocalists have the Lugansky series of vocalises for high, medium, or low voices. I tried to find out something about this Lugansky person, and I couldn't find any biographical information, but we know that the Lugansky exercises rock for vocalists. Now, what is a vocalise? You're probably wondering. That's the name of the work. And a vocalise is a singing exercise using individual syllables or vowel sounds, not words, to develop flexibility and control of pitch and tone. A simpler way to look at it, a vocalise is a song without words. Now, just like the Hanon for pianists, the Lugansky vocalists, or the exercises rather, are not meant for the concert stage, although they do have a way of sneaking into voice recitals. Take a look. Lovely, isn't it? In fact, the further you are from it, the lovelier it becomes. Here is another Lugansky, a bit more sinister in character. Now, you may be wondering, are any of these vocalises or vocal exercises worthy of the concert stage? Well, I'm so glad you asked, because there is one that is absolutely breathtaking, and it was composed by Sergei Rachmaninoff. We are, of course, talking about the Vocalise, which is song number 14 of his 14 songs, Opus 34 from 1915. Why Vocalise? And why today? Well, it turns out that Rachmaninoff's birthday is coming up on Thursday. Rachmaninoff was born on April 1st, 1873. He died in 19, oh, there's a typo there, 1943. And this is why we are talking about Rachmaninoff's Vocalise today. No time to dive into this extraordinary Russian composer's works for piano and orchestra, or his symphonies, or his choral works. We will get to that at some point. For starters, let me just say that Rachmaninoff's Vocalise, as a matter of fact, was not even composed as an exercise. It is simply the last song of this series that I just mentioned. He chose to publish the song without words, giving the singer the option to use whatever syllable he or she uses or chooses to use for the performance. The song was written for a high voice, which can be either a soprano high voice or a baritone or tenor can also sing it, although it's very rare to hear it performed by a man. Now, at a risk of getting slapped by YouTube, I will share the first phrase from this particular Vocalise, which is just heavenly. Take a look. Beautiful, isn't it? The whole piece lasts approximately 5 minutes, and as indicated in the original score, the singer gets to pick the vowel. I mentioned that just a second ago. But the piece is so beautiful and so popular, it is frequently performed with different instruments, such as the cello or the violin. It's sometimes accompanied by piano, but it is also accompanied by orchestra sometimes. There is a version for piano solo without having a soloist, just by playing it on the piano. And it is, by the way, one of the truly awesome pieces to hear performed on a theremin. A theremin. What on earth is a theremin, you ask? Well, that would have to be an entirely separate Music Monday. For now, let us say that this is the only musical instrument that you play without touching it. Here are two theremin players, one performing an original instrument designed by Russian engineer Leon Theremin, and one playing a current version of one. The way the theremin works, I'm going to be very brief here, is the right hand, the one that is next to that stick, that vertical stick, moves up and down, up and down, and by moving up and down, not necessarily closer to the stick, it creates different pitches. Now, the theremin, the stick, or the instrument doesn't know exactly what pitch you're going to play. It's not a pitched instrument like the piano. It's like the violin, where the position of your hand only guesses, so it is the right hand's job to stay in tune. Can you hear that? It's the fruit guy. It's going by. Thank God it's gone. Meanwhile, the left hand, which is down here, in this other general area on, let's see, is my pointer working? Yes. The other hand, which is close to this little thing or that little thing, where is my mouse? Did I go away? Oh, there it is. Okay. This one, the closer or further it gets from that structure, it controls the volume. So this is how, using a theremin, you can be so incredibly articulate. So here we go. What I'm going to do now is share with you a little bit of that segment of the Vocalise that we just heard, and then we're going to move a little bit further on the piece with the theremin version, and of course accompanied by an orchestra. You tell me what you think. And now the theremin. And so forth and so on. Of course, I hate to leave you all hot and bothered, but as always, I will leave links to the entire YouTube videos so you can enjoy these and other performances of Rachmaninoff's Vocalise or the Chopin Etudes. And that, my friends, was Music Monday. Now let me switch over to the big screen so that I can take a look at your final comments and see what we have here. Shoom baba boom bam booby dooby doo nyanga 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 namama. There was news Saturday vaccines should be here next weekend or following week. I didn't see that anywhere, Linda. I hope your source is good, and I'm sure that if that is the case, we will continue to hear and read more about this. Ronnie says, all of a sudden I look fuzzy. It may have had something to do with the fact that I was broadcasting videos, and that sometimes happens. Brad says, I have that book, hated it. Well, yeah, but it's good for the fingers. What can I tell you? Let's see. More information about shows. One more performance of Mamma Mia, outdoor. Thank you very much for that. Let's see. More information about shows. Keith Tynes has one more show scheduled at the Palm. And let's see what else we have. Okay. Scat and Vocalise. Scat and Vocalise in jazz. Thank you so much, Perry. Because, oh my God, that's Music Monday for next week. We have to follow this up. Oh my God, Perry, you are brilliant. We have to follow this up with Jazz Vocalise, which is a totally different ball game and such an exciting one. I promise I will do Jazz Vocalise next week and scat singing because I love it. And I did so much of it in college, it's not even funny. Let's see what else. Cass, it's so good to see you. Luna loves her cat portrait. Thank you so much for being here with us. I really appreciate it. Let's see. Terry didn't hear the fruit guy, which gives me a lot of comfort because sometimes I wonder if the noises I hear back in the window are getting into the broadcast. Thank you very much for that. Gary says he only knows about the theremin from the Big Band Theory. Yes, it's been featured there. Joey is correct. When the theremin appeared, it became a staple of scary movies. Many people think that we hear a theremin on Good Vibrations by the Beach Boys, and it was their original intention to use a theremin, but finding a theremin player proved so complicated for the recording session that they had to rely on a similar synthesizer designed by Bob Moog that actually had pitched information, and that's what was used for Good Vibration. Let's see. What else do we have? Matthew is correct. Hannah number 1 intentionally creeps into the final movement of Shostakovich's second piano concerto. Absolutely correct. Thank you for that reminder. And Kathleen didn't know about the theremin. The theremin is a fascinating instrument. Very, very difficult to master, but really, really fascinating. There's a great movie. See, I knew that bringing up the theremin might be a dangerous thing because there's so much to dive into it. When Leon Theremin invented the instrument, he was a Russian immigrant living in New York. He had a student. Her name was Clara Rockmore, and she was an amazing theremin performer. And she recorded a number of albums performing the theremin. And in fact, she was the spokesperson for the instrument. She was the one that got the instrument to perform with orchestras. And she and Leon Theremin kind of sort of had a thing going. I don't remember the specific details, but one day Leon Theremin disappeared. And there is a great documentary of Clara Rockmore traveling to Russia to find Leon Theremin, her maestro, her music teacher, because he just disappeared out of thin air. And it turns out that she went and found him and knocked on his door, and he had very little to say to her, and which confirms the suspicion that everybody had that Theremin was in fact a Russian spy living in the United States. And the documentary, the movie, is just fascinating because it gives you an insight into this wonderful instrument and this crazy life that this Russian inventor lived while living in the United States. I don't know if the film is available in any of the on-demand channels, but if you find it, I thoroughly recommend it. Let's see. Would love to hear you scat, says Claude. I will scat next week. I will allow myself to scat. I will scat next week. Sure, why not? We'll add that to a number of episodes in which Paco makes a fool of himself. And that's part of the fun. And speaking of part of the fun, I have a day full of activities. I hope you do too. Name of the Theremin film, asks Matthew. I believe it's called Theremin. Let me find it, and I will add the information to the show notes. I will gladly do that. I think, Matthew, you would enjoy it very much. Again, this brings us to the end of Music Monday and a good start of the week. I certainly hope we had some sobering news to deal with, and we will continue to report on those. But I sincerely hope that as we get into Semana Santa, you will have done your homework as good Puerto Vallarta locals. You will have taken care of yourselves and your pantries, and you will stay home as much as possible. It is the sensible thing to do. Let the tourists, cause a little ruckus around the city. Let them enjoy what we get to enjoy every single day of the year. And let us hope, again, that the aftermath of this vacation period does not really do a number on our COVID statistics moving forward. Stay kind, stay happy, stay musical, stay singing, and stay in touch. I will see you again soon.